Hi guys, Mr Fraser here from Neon Maths, Bright Maths, Bright Future. This session we're going to look at how we solve quadratic equations by factorising. If you haven't done so already, you're going to need to check out my videos on factorising quadratic expressions. If you haven't done that, you may get a little bit lost on this. You need to be able to factorise in order to be able to solve by factorising. So, assuming you know how to do that, stay tuned to find out how to solve a quadratic equation by factorising.
Learn, no pain, no gain, that's the mantra. I'm in class, chiseling, creating a monster. Lot of fractions, lot of vectors, whole lot of factoring. Lot of hours going in, slowly you're tiring.
Now before we really get stuck into this, I want to quickly put something up on the board to demonstrate something that I need you to think about. Right, so let's quickly talk through what I've done over here. Well, I've got a quadratic equation. I know it's an equation because it has an equal sign. I can solve for x. I know it's a quadratic because the highest power is 2. And what I've done is I've just shown two different situations. In the first case, where x equals -3, I substituted -3 in for x, and I found out that it's simplified to 0. Okay, the left-hand side equals 0, the right-hand side was already 0. 0 equals 0, that makes sense. So that's true. And let's have a look at this. Well, this time I substituted in the value -4. But -4 in everywhere x was, I simplified it and I found that 0 equals 0, left-hand side equals right-hand side. So that's also true. So this example has two solutions. There aren't any other numbers that I could have substituted in for x that would have been true on both sides. Any other number that I put in here would have given me a different number on my left-hand side and a different number on my right-hand side. So it wouldn't have been a solution to the equation. So let's have a go at solving this equation. Now, this is a slightly backwards way of doing it because I've already told you what the solutions to this are, but let's see if we can have a look at making that work practically. Now, we're going to do this, first of all, by factorising the equation. So I'll zoom through this. If you don't understand what I'm doing, check out factorising equations video. So I've factorised this equation into x plus 3 all multiplied by x plus 4. Now, notice the difference between this and what we were doing when we were doing our factorising equations videos is that we have an equal sign. We can solve it. Now, in order to be able to solve this, we need to know something. We need to think about the properties of multiplying two numbers together to get a solution of 0. If you were to give me any number, and I said, okay, I'm thinking of a number in my head, I'm going to multiply it by that number, and my solution is going to be 0, what number must I be thinking about? You can pick any number, you multiply it by my number, the solution is 0. Well, my number is 0, because anything multiplied by 0 gives me a solution of 0. So we can think of this as either this has to equal 0 or this has to equal 0. And I'm going to rewrite it like that. I'm going to say, okay, x plus 3 equals 0 or x plus 4 equals 0. And then it's just a case of solving two linear equations. So now it is a bit silly of me, you already knew that. I'm working this backwards, but those are the two solutions to this. If I plug those two things in, well, I know it's going to equal 0. Let's have a look at a slightly more difficult example. We're solving quadratic equations by factorising. Okay, so let's solve this equation by factorising. Might be a good idea to pause this, have a go at this, and then when you've had a go, I'm going to show you my solution, my sped up solution. So that bit is pretty straightforward. All that involves is factorising a quadratic expression. So all we need to know now is that either this equals 0 or this equals 0. So we're going to do that. We're going to let them both equal 0, and then we're going to solve as if they were linear equations. So my two solutions for this equation are y equals negative 1.5 or 3/2 and y equals 1/3. So now you know how to solve quadratic equations by factorising. Have a look at my video how to solve quadratic equations by completing the square or by using the quadratic formula. I hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel.